This week, in honor of the early release of housing, we're looking at a variety of concepts for smaller houses to get those creative juices flowing. And we're going to start briefly with two standalone ideas by Chexter on plot number 19. And first up, we've got this unique stairway up to the top of the house made out of those curved elven bars that takes us to a purpose-built balcony on top of the Alliance home that lets you see all around, which is quite cool to see because even though we've seen a lot of this type of thing from the Horde houses, the Alliance houses have always had their roofs left alone. And then on the inside, we've got this whimsical treehouse. We can see these small little stairways up made by putting little benches together that make a perfect stairway around the tree. I love that from the outside, it really does look like a treehouse. They've done such a good job shaping all of the different form, and we even have this custom walkway that goes all the way to the top with these tiny little items all over the place to sort of fill out the decoration. Moving on from those clever tricks, here's a home that has a little bit of everything. This is Darryn on plot number 32. And if you're liking these housing showcases, don't forget to subscribe, and special shout out to new channel member SpookDino. Now Darryn starts with a stone pathway off to the side here leading up to a bench, because this plot actually has a magnificent view of the neighborhood around it. I definitely enjoy when the creator is able to take advantage of the natural benefits of their plot, and this is one that has a tremendous benefit in its view of the surrounding area. This view is continued at the gazebo here on the side, which includes a convenient little fireplace to keep you warm as you enjoy the cozy view of this plot. Now on the inside, we start with a more traditional layout. The two fireplaces on either end are quite unique. Something interesting that this room does is the trellises and the windows are all upside down to create a specific texturing on the walls that the creator was going for. Now, as we come into the center stairway room here, we can see one of my favorites. I love when the stairway rooms are fully fleshed out. We've got an incredible nature area in the middle, and one thing I'd like to highlight about this plot is that it uses quite a few different tools as pots for the plants. We've got barrels and wicker baskets, some are boxes with leaves on top to make it look more naturey. In the back here, we've got a unique layout for the pantry. These boxes on their side in the wall with all of these bottles placed correctly and the spices hanging over to create the feeling that not only is this a storage area, but it's a storage area in use. Up at the top here, we've got a lovely reading nook, the fire in the middle there, creating this cozy atmosphere where you can sit around, be warm, read the books. But of course, as you've come to expect from all of these bookshelves here, one of them is a secret bookshelf door. And here we get to see more of those unique concepts that I think help to show off more of the housing system. For one, on the side here, we've actually got a custom fireplace that the person has made for themselves to show that you don't have to use the pre-built ones. The separation between the bed and the back area is quite nice, and in the back here, we've got a custom-built sink using the moonwell and a mirror, and on the side there, I believe that's meant to be either soap or a makeup pad. But what if you want a home fit for a champion learning to enjoy the world they saved, but who isn't quite ready to hang up the cape just yet? This is Playmo on plot number 31, and something that jumps out right away is how well they've used plants to frame the opening of their home. At the side of the home here, we have the hero's griffin taking a well-deserved rest, and if we were to continue through, we can see that it opens up into a wide area for you to enjoy the view, and a lovely little chicken coop on the side. But it's when we come to the other side of the home, past these more exotic plants that you know this hero didn't find anywhere near here, where we can see a bench. And just like the home before, this is here to admire the magnificent view that this plot gives you. I love the detail work that Blizzard has done with the neighborhood. It's so nice that so many of these plots have a view that is stunning. On the inside, we get this spectacular blend of home sweet home type items mixed in with the type of spoils that you would bring home from adventures. There's a lot of detail work in the furniture to admire. One thing in particular I love is how these floating scrolls inhabit the space around the auto-writing quill, as though the quill itself is what is writing all of these different scrolls, as though something is being written here. Maybe the hero's memoirs, maybe something else. We have the classic fireplace area, this time with a whole load of different cushions and pillows that make it feel more lived in, and we even have an overgrown nature corner, complete with a stool upside down to create a unique pot for the plant that we hadn't seen before. In the main dining area, we've got this canopy to close in the dining area, which is a unique element we hadn't seen before. And as we come through to the side, we can see these arresting garden vivarium type areas. I love the mix of all of these foreign plants that the hero definitely would not have found in the surrounding area. These are the types of things you bring back from adventures. And right next to it, we have this contented, warm, fountain area where you can kick back and relax, listen to the running water, admire all of your plants. As we move past the bath and sink to the side here, we can see that one of these is, of course, a secret bookshelf door. And then we are met with this grandiose hallway with these fires burning on the sides, these heads coming out of the walls. And what does this grandiose entrance lead to but the master bedroom, where we can see a lot of custom work done. I appreciate that all of the chairs are different, that it's not the same one on repeat. But the use of this canopy over two layered platforms to hug the bed makes it feel so praisable, so worthy of the hero that stays here. Similar to the chairs, we have multiple different sources of lighting that all blend together well. And just to the side of the bed, we have a little bit of loot on the floor, as well as some chests and some weapons there, as though the hero is ready to spring back into action anytime they are needed. This is a home that would certainly take a lot of love and care to maintain, but that doesn't mean the hero is quite done with their adventuring just yet. Now, coming back through the home and going the other way, we can see Playmo's magnificent kitchen area. Once again, we see more clever uses of different items to create pots for the potted plants. To the right, we have another enclosed space here. This is something that Playmo is exceptional at, is subdividing these rooms in a way that feels natural, that also allows for the space to be used more effectively. And then we have this extremely impressive wrap-around bar. Not only are the walls and the sides all fully decorated with little items placed everywhere, but this bar actually wraps around the entire perimeter of the kitchen area all the way up to this seating area. Playmo has done so exceptionally well getting the lighting right, getting the small little knickknacks and everywhere, the dishes, the cutting boards, some of the plates and other items placed around here. This is an exceptional kitchen, and it all goes with that exceptional side area where you relax and that magnificent bedroom. From retired hero to humble druid, we've got Nythera on plot number 31. And in fact, that's actually Nythera roosting on the roof of the house there at the front. To the side of the home, we can see the classic griffin roost with some other plants around the side, but it's when we come to the left of the home that we can see something completely unique. This side patio here is so well designed. I love how the nature grows through it, out and around it, how the tarp is integrated into the side of the home, how there's a seating area to the side there, and the use of trellises to create a more unique division between itself and the rest of the plot. You can imagine how blissful it would be to sit here and listen to the calm running water as you have your tea or your coffee, and even better, the perspective that we get, the view that we have from the bench is exceptional, because this is also on plot 31. Now, those of you who love the night elf aesthetic are going to love this home, and what I especially appreciate about it is how approachable it feels. If you're someone who, like me, can get overwhelmed with all of the options and the sizes and everything that you could possibly do, this is a perfect demonstration that bigger isn't always better. To the side here, we've got a cozy little cooking area. We've got a fireplace in the center, and we get to see a lot of fine detail work. We've got cups, we've got jars, we've got different ingredients strewn about, different storage in the back, the tiny umbrella on the fireplace. And in the reading area to the side, we can see that nature aesthetic continues. I also love that Nythera has not just thought about being a night elf, but also about their class as a druid, how they actually have a different shapeshift form for each of the different rooms, and I think that's really cute. It adds so much to the positive vibes of this house. You already know I'm a sucker for these nature corners, and I love how the water pours into the moonwell here. And it's when we go up the ramp here that we can see how this house really does encapsulate the idea that less is more. Up at the top here, we have the bedroom for this home. Now, Nythera could have just chosen to make an additional room to be the bedroom, but placing it at the top here is not only reminiscent of how those old Darnassus buildings used to be, but it also accentuates the theme that this whole house is going for. This is the home of a druid who likes to live in communion with nature, who doesn't need some giant grand layout that disrupts all of the areas around them. It's exactly what one person would need. And really, that's what I find so inspiring about this home. It shows that you don't need a giant layout with 10 different rooms to make something that looks gorgeous, that looks beautiful and handcrafted. Here, Nythera has proven that nothing beats a home that you make for yourself. But what if you want that home sweet home feel, but you're not into the night elf aesthetic? Well, this is Nightsong on plot number 14. On the outside, we can see that Nightsong has used their plot to create a bit of an apple orchard to match with the apple orchard out in the background. I love when players decide to integrate their plot into the story of the surrounding area. It's such a nice touch. Off in the corner here, we have a perfect enclosed, fully made chicken coop ready to go once Blizzard adds those chickens. And in the back of the house here, we've got a custom patio that Nightsong says is what made them fall in love with this plot. If we were to come onto the patio and sit in this chair to look at the view, we can see that this is yet another plot that has a stunning view of the neighborhood around. It's views like these that I think have pushed players towards the Alliance neighborhood over the Horde one, because while the Horde does have incredible views, there's not quite as many picturesque ones like we see here. Coming around the side of the patio, we have a private garden area, using these trellises with the water to separate it all out. This is the type of area you come to just be at peace. You're not here to watch things, you're here to just be with your thoughts and relax. Nightsong themselves described it as a little area to just sit and think and maybe read. Now on the inside, Nightsong might have one of the best home sweet homes I've ever seen. Pretty much everywhere here is an example of perfected detail work. There are so many small hidden items in every corner that I guarantee you will not see all of them in a first pass. I love how much effort that they have gone to make sure that this place feels lived in. We've got cups on the coffee table. We've got uniquely dyed pillows to go with the different furniture. This first room also demonstrates how well you can create your own custom layouts for these rooms. This is just the regular medium square room, but through the use of pillars and wall dividers, Nightsong has been able to section it off into the rooms that they want. This dining table looks absolutely ravishing. I'm loving the lobster and the bread and the cheese, and we can see the wine cabinet off to the side there. And in the back here, we are treated to a completely unique layout for a storage room. We've got the boxes and bins and spices that we've come to expect and the sink, but this stairway here, made out of benches, is wholly unique to this plot. And it's also really cool. I love how it feels like you've been in this room before. I've seen storage areas with this layout. The fact that it not only nails the aesthetic that it's going for, but that it actually works as a smooth stairway up so you can reach the higher up boxes. What a nice attention to detail. Nightsong didn't have to go through all the effort to create this upper area with all of these different storage bins, but they did, and it adds so much to the room. Off to the side, we've got a full bath. We've got the clever use of a fountain to create running water for the sink. The burning candles and incense is a lovely addition. And we've got an Ogremar chair as the toilet. And this time, we've got a Horde flag as the toilet paper. Now, just like with the last home, I genuinely enjoy when these layouts look like actual homes. And this hallway here is a perfect example of it. We've all seen homes with a hallway just like this one. The first room on the right here is a study area. We can see that writing quill going at it, and of course we have all of these different bookshelves that have been stocked with different items. I like that some of them are empty and that we have these scrolls on the desk here. It's as though this person is still building their collection. Maybe they're writing their memoirs, or maybe they're still collecting the types of books that they want to see. We'll take another look at those bookshelves when we come back, but first, of course, let's take a look at the bedroom. And once again, Nightsong has nailed that home sweet home feel. I love how spacious this bedroom feels, and I was pleasantly surprised that on the other side of the divider here is not a bathroom, but rather this private reading nook. The vines growing across the walls, the subtle mood lighting provided by the string lights and the lantern in the back here. I mean, how could you not want to kick back and relax in an area like this one, and in the privacy of your own bedroom? I mean, I think we all wish that we had a room just like this one. Returning to that study area before, as I'm sure many of you expected, one of these is the secret bookshelf door. And here we can see all the little riches and treasures of this person's adventuring hidden away. It may be simple, but it's also one of my favorite uses of the secret bookshelf door that I've seen, especially because a hidden nook area like that is only possible because Nightsong has gone out of their way to create their own fully unique floor plan for this house. It is because they spent so much time and effort creating the exact layout that they wanted for their home that this little side area gets to exist. Thank you to Nightsong for showing off their home and for making me jealous yet again that I don't have a home just like this one. Now, before we get to the last home on the list, we've actually got a quick update on Nujabes' home. If you remember, last week, Nujabes had the #1 spot on our list, and I actually got to meet up with them once again to see how they had developed it further. We can see the first room has been developed with this dining table with some meat and incest burning on the side. The Night Elf bar here has been fleshed out a little bit more. There are different trinkets about. There's a fireplace on the side, and now there are some stools for people to sit when they're bartending. Just above the magnificent Warden spiral staircases, we can see that the fountain from before has been fleshed out a little, with some trees and plants growing out of it with the water flowing while still maintaining the glow that they had before. But it's when we get to that secret back room in the center where we can see one of the most significant changes and why I thought it was important to show this here. This is their new middle back room, and it is magnificent. There's so much to love about this room, but in particular I want to point out the tiling on the ceiling. Nujabes has used the stone path walkway items and placed them one by one on the ceiling to create the textured feel that they're going for, which is something that I have never seen in any of these houses before. Custom texture work on the ceiling and the walls is incredible. This centerpiece also has more than meets the eye. Yes, we've got this moonwell with this priest dark thing to create a pretty gnarly aesthetic in the middle. I like it a lot, but on top of that, it can be interacted with to bring out this giant dragon centerpiece with its own glowing feel. What a cool addition to Nujabes' home that was already one of the most spectacular that we've ever seen, and now to have that dark area in the back replaced with this magnificent, elegant, opulent library area with the cool interactable mage item and the custom tiles on the ceiling. I mean, Nujabes just knocks it out of the park time and time again. But alright, what if you're not into the home sweet home aesthetic at all? What if instead of a private area all to yourself where you tuck away in, you want something big and boisterous, something that you can bring people over to share in your experience? Welcome to Undignified's Nightclub on plot number 39. Now we'll get to the inside in just a moment, but on the outside here, Undignified does have a couple of cool ideas that we hadn't seen before. This giant deck on the back here, enclosed within a gazebo, we can see a different implementation of the hot tub idea than we've seen before. What makes this hot tub cool is not only that it is bubbling and steaming, but that you can get inside of it and sit down. It's a perfect combination of items here that creates that perfect hot tub experience where people can sit and relax together. In the corner, we've got this lovely little seating area next to a fire so that you can keep warm and have conversation outside with the people you'd like to. And in the other corner, we've got this solo reading nook with a magically turning book. But without further ado, it's time to look at the inside. And even from a distance, you can tell that Undignified is on another level. This nightclub has everything that you'd want to see in a place like this, and the more you look at it, the better it gets. To the right here, we have this podium where you can expect that someone would be making sure that you're actually allowed into the nightclub. We've got the classic bar to the side here. Something that's really nice about this bar is how it is divided from the rest of the club. Then we get to look at the club itself, and man, the seating area here is perfect. I love the layout, but the stage here is incredible. The spotlights going on to the stage, a custom drum kit built. We'll take a closer look when we get the chance, but first we've got to appreciate the green room in the back here. Undignified said they added that green fell flame to show that this was the green room, and it's exactly what you would expect from the green room in a nightclub. Just some comfy seating and a place for the talent to get themselves ready. Going through the curtain and going on to the stage itself, we can see that he has nailed the nightclub aesthetic. I'm loving the use of the mana pipes to create the background here. For those of you who have been on stage before, you'll know that he got this perspective absolutely right. The only difference is that you can actually see the audience, but all of the spotlights directly on your face is exactly what it is like to be on one of these stages. I love the custom drum kit that they've managed to build here by combining a bunch of different Tauren drums. It looks so good. And coming up the stairs at the top, we've got a VIP area with some more comfy couches all dyed purple, as well as some tables to have a drink while you watch the performance. This nightclub is absolutely amazing, and I cannot wait to see what Undignified is able to come up with once this goes live.